Alright, so I've been asked a couple of times to do this video. This will be how to disassemble a bolt carrier group for the GSG-16. If you're to the point where you're doing that on your own, I'm going to assume that you know how to field strip your rifles, so we're not going to cover that. So I already have mine taken apart. We're going to put that off to the side. This is your bolt carrier group. Regular 522 bolt carrier group. So we're going to start screws on the outside. Don't worry about this one yet. You'll get to that one later. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the outside to take out. They are a hex head. They are not an Allen key. Don't make that mistake. It will not fit. It will strip your screws. I already cleaned this one. I cleaned this one out last night. And then remembered that people had asked me to do a video on it. So, let the fun begin again. All of these little black screws that I'm taking out of here, these little buggers, they are all the same length, the same thread, and the same head. It does not matter where you put them. Okay? So don't worry about keeping them separate and knowing which one went in which hole or came out of which hole or any of that. It doesn't matter. Just don't lose them. Now I'm going to go over disassembly. Hold on. This nut sits right back here. This is what your bolt stop, the screw that goes into that, that's what it screws into. Screws into that nut. So when you start to take this group apart, it is just pressure fitted in there. Don't lose it. Okay, so you've got those exterior screws out. There's 5 of them. Now, this piece is part of the group. This piece and this piece are not. They are just a housing, okay? However, they are spring tensioned on there. So be careful, because that will happen and you will lose a spring. Okay? So that's that side. Now you're going to need to slide this back. The posts will come out through the bottom, as you can see. Okay? So you got to slide it back until it releases. Don't lose that spring. Now the spring. And these are your 2 outside components. These are your 2 case sides for your bolt carrier group. That's where that's at. Okay. As I explained before, I already took this apart last night and cleaned it, so it is clean. It does look a heck of a lot better than it did yesterday. So now we have 1, 2, 3 bolts to take apart, or take out. Now when you do this, these heads will move, or this cover plate that you're taking off will move. So just make sure you're holding it. Make sure you've got a good hand on it. And again, I put all of those heads, all of those screws in the same spot. I'm not going to go over too much of the reassembly because it's a pain in the butt sometimes and can take a lot longer than it really needs to. Okay, so you're holding this. You can see how it moves. Both holes are lined up. Both holes aren't lined up. Okay, make sure you're holding that steady. You're going to want to depress this ball right here, and you'll be able, never mind, ignore that. I'm a step ahead of myself. Tiny little hex head. This hole right here, this top one, there is a set screw in there. See? Tiny. Can you see? Tiny wee little set screw. Do not lose that set screw. Now inside that hole, there's a push pin. And we get to that push pin from here. Hold on to this plate. Hold on to this ball. Push this pin out. It may take some coaxing. It's not one of those ones that wants to move. I like to use a pick to start it. Oh, because I just cleaned it. See, I'm holding this rod right here with my thumb. You can see how white my thumb's getting maybe. If I let this go, this whole firing pin, which is what this rod is that I'm holding, is going to come backwards and this ball is going to fly out. So do not lose that. Okay? Now, just so you know, here's the push pin that I pulled out. We're going to leave that right there. We're going to pull this firing pin back. Okay? You can see there's oil on it. We're going to take this cover off. And be careful because there is a spring and a plunger head in here. And that is your recoil for your setback for your firing pin. Now, this ball that you're holding your thumb on, let go. Dump it out. There is a spring in there. The spring is not attached to the inside of the ball. Do not lose those. Do not let those go. They will fly across your living room. You will spend 3 hours moving furniture to find it. You will be dealing with a pissed off person with whoever you live with. My girlfriend was not impressed last night because I let that ball go and it went flying. Okay. So this is fully disassembled. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take a second here while this is all disassembled to talk about cleaning. I'm a huge fan of Hops 9. My father used it. My grandfather used it. All my uncles used it. I've also become a big fan of Croyle. I can clean any of my firearms until all the swads come out green or clear. Nothing on them. I can put 2 drops on a patch of this Croyle and it will come out black. I don't know what the deal is, but this cleans stuff amazingly. And it is also a lubricant. Just to clarify, I don't care what you use. Please don't use WD-40. Just saying. Use what you want to use. Use what you're comfortable with. Use what you use for everything else. It doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm hoping you pause the video. If not, pause it now, because we're going to get back into reassembly. Okay, bear with me, because this is going to suck. I hate this. I always end up dropping or losing something. Okay, so we're going to not put those in yet. Okay, and put that on. And I keep it upside down like this, so that this spring and push rod, whatever you bumper, whatever you want to call it, doesn't move. But I have a little bit of oil in there right now, so that it should hold in place fairly well. Doesn't matter. I'm still gonna hold it upside down, or at least relatively upside down. Spring and ball go in there. Now, it does matter which direction this goes in, so don't let anybody tell you differently, because I had somebody try and argue that with me. This is the top of your firing pin rod. It will go this way, because remember, this black piece is the top. Okay? This groove, this hole that's in it, is where that pin goes through. Okay? On this side, you'll see right above my thumbnail a little crescent moon, a little crescent cutout. That is where this push ball is solid in there, and when it gets to a certain spot, it opens up and allows as a guide rod. Okay? That is where that sits. Okay? So you want that as far forward as you can so that that bolt face is level. Your firing pin is level with your bolt face. I don't know if you guys can see that. If you slide this back, you will hear a click. Okay? Not sure you heard that, so I'm going to hold it above the camera. Okay? See how it's not level anymore? It's level. It's not level. You want it to be level. You want it to be sticking out there. Because if it's not, and it slid back to that spot, it will not fire. You're going to look like a dummy at the range. Okay? Just forewarning you guys. I'm going to take this out for right now. Hold this ball, because if you don't, it's going to fly out. Because you have nothing securing this pin in. Okay? So we're going to put this front cover on. We're going to hold this ball in. And we're going to try and get this firing pin in without bunging up our spring. Okay, it is tricky. It's not easy. You do have to make sure you're holding this all. Okay? Now that will somewhat hold there while you put this pin in. And then put this set screw back in. Do not cross thread that set screw. It is really easy to do. And it goes in. Like, it doesn't just sit level, it goes way in. Okay, we're going to grab, sure you heard that click. See how that's fallen backwards and it's not level anymore. So we take and we depress our ball over here, and we can slide this forward so that it's level again. Okay, so you can hold off on that right now. Put this screw in. Turn your screwdriver so that it's turning the right direction, because that always helps. Okay, snug that up. Do not torque those on. Like I said, it's a hex head. It will strip real easy. Okay. Okay, see that's forward again. We're going to put our other screws in here. Okay, so you've got that back together. Now, this is really easy. These springs that go on here, it does not matter which way they go on or which post they go on. I lay everything out the way that I took it apart so that I know how it's going back together, but that's just me. Okay, so put the spring on there. You see it's too long for the post. There is a small groove here for the spring to sit in, and there is a small groove back here for that post to ride. Okay, if you don't have it in the right spot, it will not go on. Okay, so you have to depress this to put it on, and then it will grab, and then you don't even have to hold it anymore. It's not coming apart. Okay, put our other spring on. Don't forget that, or you're going to have to take it apart again. Same with this side. There is a groove here for it to depress through. Okay, now leave the back apart. See how I've got a gap here? Leave that there. Make sure that this nut drops in here. It is kind of a pain. Okay, see how that's in there? And you're also going to want to turn it so that it's flat. Okay, so you have a flat side on top. If that makes sense. You don't want one of the edges, corners sticking up the top. And then you just put all of your bolts in. And again, like finger tight and then a little bit of torque. Don't crank these things on. There's absolutely no need. There really isn't. It all holds together. I mean, there's 5 of them holding it in there. There's no need for it to be cinched on like Andre the Giant did it for you. And there you have it. That is your disassembly and your reassembly of a 522 bolt carrier group from a GSG-16. If you guys made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this helps. I'm just going to steal another minute, maybe 2 of your time, if you'll allow me. Anybody that's in Canada from this page knows what's going on. You know that there's a gun ban happening. You know that our government is coming after firearms. You know that they've gone about it in a very undemocratic process. Now, I'm not going to get into vote for this party, vote for this person, none of that shit. What I am going to say is find a lobby group, find a gun group that you can relate to. Find more than one. I don't care if it's the CCSA, the NFA, or the CCFR. Myself personally, I am with the CCFR. I am one of their field officers. I go to shows and promote the gun lobby and things like that. Promote firearms rights. Find one of those groups. Pick all of them. I don't care. Become a member. Send a little bit of a donation. Buy a shirt. Buy a hoodie. Buy a sticker for your vehicle. Put the sticker on your gun case. I don't care. Help support the court battles against the federal government. Because if we step back and do nothing, this firearm is going to be very soon considered a variant of an AR-15. It has a lower, it has an upper, and it has a removable bolt carrier. Think about it, people. Yes, it's a 22, but guess what? There are already 22s on the list, right? I've gone to the range. I've put this on the shooting table, started popping off rounds, and people are going, "What the heck are you shooting?" One, because, I mean, as we all know, it fires as fast as you pull the trigger. It also comes with 22 round mags. It also has an optional 110 round drum. People look at that and go, how is my shotgun on the list and that one's not? And if you don't know what list I'm talking about, do a little bit of research. Back on May 1st, the Liberal government banned over 1,500 firearms, and they've continued to add to the list since. All I'm asking, find a lobby group, support their legal battle. Talk to your MPs, take a new shooter out, get people getting their pals. Get out there and promote the shooting community. It's fun, it's great, and it keeps you off drugs. Get your kids addicted to guns. They won't have money for drugs. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your day. Happy shooting.